pause for thought and join in the barking with Darren Rowe on The Mindful Dog.
It's the 5th of April 2020 and it's now time to catch up with our regular canine behavioural slot on Magic Talk with Roman Travers on the Sunday Cafe.
You reckon you're bored? You reckon you've had enough of the lockdown? Think about your dog. Your dog is probably all set to chew its own leg off just to get out and run around and pee on a different lamppost or something. Darren Rowe from Mindfulness for Dogs is here. G'day, mate.
Hi, Roman. How are you today?
I'm okay, but dogs must be really just getting so annoyed with the same circuit.
Well, I was having to think about this one actually yesterday, and we've really cramped their style, haven't we? Because if you think about it, normally your dogs in the morning, you might wake up and give them some food, and if they're very lucky dogs, they might get a walk, and then we go away, don't we, and leave them to do what they want to do in the house and have a great time. Yeah. Suddenly now we've got everybody in their house cramping their style something chronic, and we're probably not thinking that that's a problem for the dogs, really, I guess.
What are the issues with dogs going bonkers?
Well, it depends on the way you look at things. There's been quite a lot of studies, haven't there, about the stress levels of dogs recently and how our stress levels impact on the dog stress levels and stuff like that. So I think they've got the human infection, if you want to call it that. When we're around our dogs all the time, they pick up on our stress levels, on our sort of subtle changes in our behaviours, because dogs are quite habitual, and we do the same things all the time regardless of whether we realise we are. And when they change, sometimes dogs can't cope with that. And let's face it, at the moment, our probably behaviours are changing all the time, aren't they, with us being locked down and everything like that. So that's going to cause stress levels in the dogs to rise, and obviously when a dog gets stressed, they get anxious, and then behavioural issues start to come out because they can't cope with the world.
Yeah, it's true. Do you think, look, by the way, you can give Darren a call now and have a chat, ask him a question on 0800 844 747. Do you think we overthink things with dogs? Do dogs really get deep and meaningful about needing a change of scenery or getting bored? Are we looking into this too much?
I think we can do, yeah. I think we can be in danger of complicating dogs' lives because we've got very little to think about ourselves. But at the moment, I think the most important thing really is just to make sure you're hitting those key things. So good quality food. Now that might be harder as time goes on, but most people are getting pet food in, so good food. Making sure they get some kind of exercise. Now, dogs do not have to run off lead, right? Especially nowadays, we've got problems with we're not allowed to let our dogs run off lead. You can give a dog really good exercise by keeping it on the lead. You can then bring it home and you can play with it. Okay, so you can exercise all those things in your dog without letting them have to run. They don't have to go and chase a ball, basically, so you don't have to do that. Obviously, it's beneficial if you can, but at the moment, we can't do that, so it's not something that we need to do. But one of the biggest things I think that we forget about with dogs is their mental health. And that's something that we don't think about anyway. Half the time we just think they need to be exercised, they need to be fed. But the mental health of any animal, including dogs, is really, really important for us to think about. And that's more about stimulating that mind from rather than just putting their food down in a bowl and give it to them, actually make them work for it.
I guess it's kind of like having a perpetual 5-year-old who always wants to be entertained and praised and, thanked and fed. What else can you do, Darren? Because it's probably a really good time to, if you've got the time and you're sick of Netflix, focus on your dog and change some of those habits that are driving you crazy.
Too right, yeah. I've just released Ginger's Boredom Buster Tips. It's on my YouTube channel, and you can find it on my website. Just go into the media page there. And we've got 5. At the moment, we've just done the 5 tips. We're doing one every day or two. And it's just different ways of feeding. But they're very simple ways. Like we made a feeder, a fun feeder with a drain pipe, an old drain pipe. And drilled some holes in it and then put some food in it, and she was rolling it around trying to work it out. And there's little games that you can do, like hand games, and really cool game where you put the treat under the cup and she can choose which cup it is to see if she can work out where the treat is.
Oh, brilliant.
So all those kind of things that you could do with kids. I mean, I think of dogs as 2.5-year-olds roughly. So if you think how much you have to keep a 2.5-year-old excited and interested in life, that's the same kind of thing. But yeah, there's a whole plethora of things on the internet that you can find to keep your dog interested. And remember, the more you stimulate their brain, the more you keep them active in their mind, the less behavioural issues, because that releases the stress, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does indeed. Yeah, Kate sent in a nice text here. Hey guys, my dog, who's a Labrador, is loving the lockdown, hanging out with us 24/7 in the garden, not missing her kennel and run at all. Lost weight as well, which is interesting, isn't it? You think being at home, especially with a Labrador eating everything.
Well, there's a couple of things that you need to think about now because we're in lockdown, right? So first of all, our dogs are getting fed way more because we're probably treating them way more. So we've got to think about, are we overfeeding our dogs, first of all? So if we're giving all these sort of great ways to treat our dogs and train our dogs, we're actually going to be feeding them quite a lot more food. So we need to adjust the food, first of all, so we don't get overweight. But the second thing is, start thinking about stress levels, because I know a lot of dogs that don't actually get out for a walk. So people think they are. I know people like to think that they take a dog for a walk every day, but they don't. And these dogs aren't used to coping with that kind of stress. So when they're out, some of the behaviours that I'm seeing are quite sort of detrimental to the dog because they just can't cope with all these dogs out there and all these people. And there's been like, I think the Hauraki Golf Council was saying there's been more dog attacks from dogs running out of the properties onto dogs because there's a lot more dogs in the street. So, be a bit mindful in the sense that there are a lot more dogs out there now that really don't normally do this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Hey, Darren, by the way, if you want to get in touch with Darren, do it now. I'll give you a plethora of options later on in terms of websites, but right now you can have a chat for free on 0800 844 747. I've got some very bad news to share with you.
Oh, have you?
Are you ready?
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's not good. I'm not allowed to walk Izzy the Weimaraner anymore.
No.
I know.
Oh, of course you're not. No.
She's heartbroken. Yeah,
I bet she is. Yeah.
Well, actually,
coping?
In fairness, she doesn't really care. I walked past her the other day, and normally she'd be all over me. She just kind of went, "Oh yeah, whatever, it's you." But Izzy is the borrowed Weimaraner. That's her hashtag on Instagram. Izzy the borrowed Weimaraner, and I'm missing it. I'm missing that reason to get out there and do something. But dogs outside, regardless of where you are at the moment, well, always really, they've got to be on leads, don't they?
Yeah. So at the moment, it's an unofficial rule, I think, but it is a rule just down to that possibility of spread. So on the lead all the time. We don't want dog fights. We don't want to have to get in there and try and split dogs up and bring people closer together, do we? So just common sense, isn't it, really? Just make sure that dog's on the lead. Yeah. Just also remember that dogs that aren't normally used to be on a lead, there's a potential that there could be more aggression on the lead. So give that space. That 2 metre space is really important for the dogs as well as you. Yeah.
It is,
really
Kate, if you're silly enough to own something like a Husky or a Welsh Border Collie and you live in a single bedroom apartment.
What are you trying to say?
Well, no, just that they're a dog who needs to work. How do you do that in your own little car park? Or could you set up a little agility course or something fun?
You can do, yeah. So you can set up, there's a couple of things. One of the tips I'm going to be doing is actually setting up a little assault course in the house and getting your dog to jump over things and go through things. You just got to be a bit creative in times like this, haven't you? We do a lot of tuggy play with those kind of dogs because they're quite predatorial, prey-driven, and they like to grab things and sort of tug them like anything. So I can tire my Border Collies very quickly in 10, 15 minutes with tuggy play. Rather than not running them all over the paddock. So, just got to be a little bit creative in the way that you interact with your dogs, I guess, nowadays.
Yeah.
I was going to say that I think at the moment there's a lot of things that you can do. If you jump online and search dog trainers, I'm certainly doing it. A lot of dog trainers now, they can't do the face-to-face stuff. They're doing a lot of online stuff. So there's some great online courses out there. We've just released a puppy preschool. So if you've got a puppy out there and you can't get to a preschool, jump online and have a look at that preschool course. That would be really good. But there's no reason not to carry on dog training. Let's face it, most people don't do dog training because they don't have the time. Well, that's one thing we've got at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. This is the time to turn your Bichon Frise into a circus act. You could have it doing all sorts of stuff, emptying the dishwasher, whatever. Now, Darren, I hear, this could be a rumour, but confirm it for me if I've got it wrong. You're about to be a TV star again tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, apparently. So I'm on the AM show again tomorrow talking about similar kind of thing, I guess, really, about how we can keep our dog's care correct. So that would be quite cool.
No, that's good. And if people in the meantime want to if people want to catch up with you before then, though, how do they do that?
So they can jump on the website. It's mindfulnessfordogs.com, and you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, all over. Definitely, just search for Darren Rowe and you'll find me as well. So.
Good stuff. Have a lovely day with your team of seven dogs.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We've only got 6 now. Soon to be 8. No, soon to be 8.
That's right. There's a puppy coming. Hey, Darren, nice to chat with you. Take care.
Brilliant.
You can catch us again with all our canine behavioural talk with Roman Travers on the Sunday Cafe on the 19th of April.
You've been listening to Darren Rowe on The Mindful Dog, giving our canine friends a voice throughout the world. To find out more about what we do, visit our website at www.mindfulnessfordogs.com.